Padalino's left eye looks very bad. Bershkovich is in there with a right cross onto the left side of Padalino's face. Now he's in with the left of Padalino's jaw, but Padalino refused to give ground. He has a hold of Bershkovich now. They wrestle over against the rope. Padalino is trying to stay. He's in a bad way for a moment with that terrific right hand that he took on the left side of his face. And now there are the seconds of Bershkovich telling Mike to let go. Mike is in there with a straight left hand on the Padalino's jaw. Padalino is in there now, but he throws the left hand of Bershkovich's jaw, and the crowd roars. They're wrestling, tugging, pulling each other over against the rope. Lou Parker, the referee, pulls them apart. This is the 7th round of a 10-round contest. And now Mike Bershkovich contest. And now Mike Bershkovich contest. And now Mike Bershkovich is pushing Padalino over against the ropes right over our microphone. He throws the left hand into Padalino's face. There's the bell, and Padalino is saved. Listen to that crowd for just a moment. Well, that was the best round that we've had. The boys were slowed up there between that 4th and 7th round. But midway in that 7th round, as we called it for you, Mike Bershkovich cut Padalino on the left side of his face with a tremendous right hand that he brought up all the way from his knees. Padalino's knees sagged. He went down, bounded off the floor like a rubber ball, but it was impossible for Stan Allman, the knockdown timekeeper, or the referee Lou Parker to start any count. Padalino was up there before they could start the count, but of course it will be scored as a knockdown. Over there in Mike Bershkovich's corner, Matt McGowan, who is a great trainer and one of the most likable fellows in the boxing game. He's telling Mike now, boxing game. He's telling Mike now, boxing game. He's telling Mike now, boxing game. He's telling Mike now how to put the finishing touches to Padalino. How to put the finishing touches to Padalino. Up here, it is Ed Cute and Ken Offit with Padalino. And Ken Offit with Padalino. Coming up now for round 8. Coming up now for round 8. The 10-round contest. Mike Bershkovich hand out of the mouth. It's Gordon's hand, but Bershkovich is able to catch a long right hand, but Bershkovich is able to catch it on his arm. They tug and run his arm. They tug and wrestle. Both boys have that right hand wrestle. Both boys have that right hand. The stomach of Mike Bershkovich looks very red, but the Bershkovich looks very red, but the nose and mouth and now they wrestle, and Bershkovich throws his weight against Padalino and bends him over against the ropes, and Padalino is in there against the ropes, and Padalino is in there with Bershkovich. Bershkovich retaliates with a Bershkovich. Bershkovich retaliates with a left and a right onto the jaw of Padalino. Left and a right onto the jaw of Padalino. They're rugged, what I mean, they're rugged. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And now Bershkovich is in with the right to the midriff and hooks Padalino with the left on midriff and hooks Padalino. And Padalino's knees sag for just a moment, but he hangs on. They wrestle. The referee Lou Parker down. They wrestle. The referee Lou Parker. Bershkovich is in with a straight left hand on the Padalino, Ohio, and Charlie Padalino of Detroit, and Mike Bershkovich of Niles, Ohio. Bershkovich. Winners again. I want to give you the winners again. The first bout of the evening, Roy Cole Ferrer. That was Charlie O'Connell's. So of course, Artie Levine gave, and of course, Artie Levine, big beating in the 5th. Shepard, a terrific beating in the 5th round. After Shepard's round. After Shepard's points. That's our humble opinion, however. In the first 3 rounds, Artie good in that 5th round. There's a 10th good in that 5th round. For the 9th round. Second buzzer, we're coming up for the 9th round. Give it to each other's left arm, have the right hand free. The referee Lou Parker breaks them. They step back, and it is Mike Bershkovich who is in there with a solid right into the whiskers of Padalino. Padalino bounds off the ropes and spears Bershkovich with a straight left hand, and then throws the left and the right down below. Bershkovich didn't like that. Leaps off the floor and spears Padalino with a straight left hand out the center of the ring. And there's a nice right uppercut out of the jaw of Bershkovich from Padalino. Now they wrestle over the far side of the ring. Padalino throws a stretch to the winds, and he's in there with the left and the right to Bershkovich's body. And he leaps off the floor and catches Bershkovich with a good solid left on the right side of his face. And now Mike is weaving and bobbing, forces Padalino against the ropes on the far side, but Padalino bounds off the ropes very cutely, and he spears Bershkovich on the nose with a straight left hand. Bershkovich retaliates with the left to Padalino's jaw, then whips the right to Padalino's left side. Again, they wrestle over against the ropes. Bershkovich is in with a straight left hand, but Padalino lets go with a beautiful right cross, and he hit Mike on the left side of his face. Mike almost went out of the ring. He caught himself on the second strand of the rope. Out the center of the ring, both boys are upright again. Bershkovich steps in with a straight left to Padalino's face. Padalino retaliates with a right to the left down below to Bershkovich. Bershkovich again throws his weight against Padalino on the far side of the ring. Referee Lou Parker breaks them. Out the center of the ring, they spar, but only a moment. These kids don't spar very long. And Bershkovich is in with a straight left hand onto the jaw of Padalino. And then he hooks a nice right onto the left side of Padalino's face. But Padalino is going away, bounds off the ropes, flies along the ropes, and gets out of that box up there. Over on the other side, as Padalino leaps off the floor and he spears Bershkovich on the nose with the left hand. Bershkovich gets very mad now and steps in with the left and the right to the body. And now he wraps his left hand around Padalino's neck, and he hits him with a good right hand on the point of the jaw. And Charlie staggered into a neutral corner there, bounds off the ropes, and he spears Bershkovich with a straight left hand. And now Mike's left eye looks pretty bad. Roughed up very much up near the eyebrow, bleeding a little bit. Charlie Padalino's left eye and his nose have been bleeding since about the 5th round. Now the referee has to pull them apart. And now Bershkovich scores with a terrific left hand on a Padalino's jaw. And he bends him over the ropes and scores with the left and the right to the body. And Charlie Padalino was down, but he was pushed down, and Mike Bershkovich is on top of him. But there is no count. The crowd boos Bershkovich. Now the boys are out in the center of the ring again. Charlie Padalino is mad. He throws a right against the jaw of Bershkovich. Bershkovich against the jaw of Bershkovich. Bershkovich leaps off the floor, hits Charlie on the nose, leaps off the floor, hits Charlie on the body. And now Charlie Padalino's right eye is bleeding very badly. Both eyes are cut now. Out the center of the ring, Bershkovich throws the left and the right into the body, and then the right into the body. And Lota is booing. On the again, there was no count. However, again, there was no count. Either by the knockdown timekeeper, by the knockdown by the referee, Lou Parker. Well, Lou, for our trick. Yes, sir, he's on the far side of the ring. He's got his gray pants and his sky blue shirt. He's doing a terrific, ladies and gentlemen. It's easy to buy a treat, and boxing, believe me, very, very respected. Two very, very rugged, and the final seconds have been working frantically over each of the boys. They'll touch gloves and they'll be off for the 10th round. What can we expect? Well, write your own ticket. They step back, and now it is Charlie Padalino who throws a stretch to the wind, and he hits Bershkovich, and crosses the right hand. Bershkovich blocks that, then Bershkovich steps in with cross. Padalino scores with the left and the right to Bershkovich's jaw, and now Bershkovich scores with the left, and he knocks Charlie Padalino down. This left, and he knocks Charlie down. Allman counted one, but Padalino was right up. The referee goes the stretch to the wind, and he's in there. Scores with the left and the right to Padalino's body. Padalino bounds off the ropes, and he spears Bershkovich right on the jaw with the left hand. Hand free. Charlie Padalino is trying to shove them back in the center of the ring. And Bershkovich is in there with the left of the body and the right to the jaw. Charlie Padalino retaliates with a straight left to the Bershkovich's nose. Bershkovich is weaving and bobbing. He steps in and scores, is weaving and bobbing. He steps in and scores Padalino, but Padalino is going away. Padalino is in there now with a straight left to Bershkovich's jaw. A beautiful left hook that was, and tried to cross. Bershkovich is inside with the left and the right to the body. And now Bershkovich is trying to wrap his left hand around the head of Padalino. Padalino has that left hand free, and he hits Padalino has that left hand free, and he hits down below. And then Charlie Padalino staggers Mike with a straight right hand. But Mike is in with the left and the right to Padalino's jaw. They wrestle over against the ropes on the north side. Referee Lou Parker breaks them in the center of the ring. Bershkovich catches Padalino on the point of the jaw, and his head bobs the point of the jaw, and his head bobs back across the ring. Inside it is Bershkovich, who scores with the left hook onto the jaw of Padalino. Padalino and McGowan on the far side. The man in there. Now the wrestlers come on in, push each other over against the ropes, and now they push each other over against the ropes. Bershkovich was in there with a terrific right hand for a moment. Padalino, a back pedal back now. Bershkovich is in there with a straight left hand into a neutral corner. He backs Padalino, catches him on the nose with the left hand, and then crosses that right onto the left side of Charlie's face. Both of Charlie Padalino's eyes are practically closed. They're bleeding. His nose is bleeding. Bershkovich has a bad left eye as well. His nose is very red. So is his stomach and his left side. Out the center of the ring, Bershkovich scores with a right uppercut on the jaw of Padalino. Padalino retaliates with the left and the right. There's only seconds remaining now in this 10-round boxing contest. Out there in the center of the ring, Bershkovich throws that terrific right hand onto the jaw of Padalino, and then scores with the left to the right down below. Padalino retaliates with a straight left on Bershkovich's nose. Bershkovich steps back. Now he spears Charlie Padalino with a good left hand on the jaw. The crowd roars, and Charlie Padalino is weaving and bobbing. Bershkovich scores with the left and the right to the jaw, but Padalino won't get down. Padalino comes off the ropes and scores with a beautiful left uppercut out of the jaw of Bershkovich. Bershkovich is in there with the left and the right to the body, then crosses that right hand out of the jaw. They're inside, and Bershkovich has his left hand around Charlie's head. Charlie is in there with the left and the right to the body. Only seconds remaining. Inside Charlie, Padalino scores with a good left hand, and both boys look very, very tired. That's the end of the 10-round boxing contest, and now the decision will be given by Charlie Bill, Herb Williams, and by the referee, Lou Parker. That was an alley fight, and it was a great fight. The 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. The 4th, 5th, and 6th was a little bit slow, but the boys, didn't want a split decision the last time, and now we're waiting for Tommy Dwyer to give us this decision again. Here they are, two judges and the referee. Of course, it can't be a draw. It was a good fight. Here's the decision. Mike Bershkovich of Niles, Ohio, gets that decision. Listen to the crowd for a moment. Well, you can see, ladies and gentlemen, there wasn't very much booing. It was a popular decision, and now it is one fight for Padalino, one fight for Bershkovich, and of course, Larry Atkins, being the matchmaker that he is, you can just look forward to another fight between Bershkovich and Padalino. If you like a good old-fashioned alley brawl with the boys throwing discretion to the wind, well, that's the answer. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the story of the fights here. Artie Levine knocked out his opponent here tonight, who is Jimmy Shepard. Shepard was unable to come up with the bell in the 6th round. That was scored as a TKO. And in this fight, Mike Bershkovich, again, this fight between Bershkovich and Padalino, many of the wiseacres thought it would not go because each of them are murderous punchers, but Bershkovich gets the decision, and it was the decision that went to Padalino the last time. This is Tom Manning speaking. Howard Spiller is at the controls, and ladies and gentlemen, that's the conclusion of our broadcast here from the ringside of Cleveland's $1 Million Arena. We have been attending the 21st annual Cleveland News and Toy Shop Boxing Contest put on by Ed Bang. We want to say congratulations to the Boxing Commission, to everybody that had anything to do with it, and particularly so because Cleveland's underprivileged children will certainly have a basket full of food at least on Christmas Day. That's all from the ringside. Good night all from Cleveland's $1 Million Arena.